Very warm welcome to Saurav Sir's classes. Today's our focus or study of our topic of discussion is LSAT. We will actually concentrate on section 1 of this particular paper. So without wasting any further time, let us start or let us begin. Before anything else, the question arises as to what we are going to do, what will be the approach, whether it is verbal, whether it is mathematics, what. So, first, let me tell you, we will be provided with a paragraph. You have to read it, or I shall say you have to analyze it very well. Based on that, there will be a certain question or conclusion that can be drawn. Conclusion will be a better word, so let me write. Now, you will be provided with a set of 5 options, or you can say answers different. Now you have to, based on this paragraph, based on your analysis and the conclusion, you have to merge one of the option, or you have to make a perfect match between one of the options and the conclusion here. Okay? And once it is done, that particular option will be the answer to that particular paragraph or argument. Okay, that supports its the option which will support the argument to the maximum, that will be chosen as the answer. Okay, so I hope I am clear as to what we are going to do in this tutorial. So this is the question. So let's start. Marked as question number 2. Let us read. Now in the year 1971 to 1975, so there is a reference with regard to a time period. The government office that monitors drug company issued over a 60 citations a year for serious violation. So it is with regard to violations of drug promotion law. Next is a time period that is given to be 1976 to 1980. And they says that the annual average issuance of such citations was only 5. It actually reduced. Okay, now we see that this decrease, so they are giving us a reason also, indicates that the government office on average was considerably more lax in enforcing such drug promotion law between this and this. So they are actually, their efficiency has reduced, and that's why there is a reduction in these issuance with regard to violations. Okay, now we move on to the next part. It says argument assume which one of the following. So instead of moving from A to E, which is what is done usually, we will do it reverse way. We will move from E to A. So let's do it. E says, what is the reason behind it? Before 1971, the government office actually issued more than 60 citations. Now it is before this period even. Okay, for serious violation of drug promotion law. Now, what actually happened before or after the period that is being mentioned here is irrelevant to us. It may give us or fetch us a lot of information, but with regard to this paragraph, we do not require it. It's a simple no. So we'll simply reject option number E. Next we move on to option number D. It says that the government office should not issue more than an average of 5 citations a year to drug company for this kind of serious violation. So what is happening? In fact, here the argument actually presumes the opposite. Isn't it? The author actually concludes that the government was lax in enforcing the drug promotion law between the period 1976 to 80 because 5 citations on average were actually issued each year. So to conclude this, the author must assume that more than 5 violations of the law occurred on average each year? So given this analysis, we can see that option D is also a big no for us. Let us move on to option number C. It says the enforcement of drug promotion law change in response to political pressure. So this particular answer choice is an explanation and not an assumption. Okay? Of the argument that the government was lax in enforcing the drug promotion law. In fact, this choice goes beyond the argument, as you can see, and it is actually uses the argument's conclusion to actually as its assumption. Okay, so C is also a big no for us. We will now have only hopes on A and B, because either A or B has to be the correct one. So B says that A change in enforcement of drug promotion law will not apply to minor violations. Now, this particular statement, the argument here actually only discusses serious violation. So, serious violation of drug promotion law. Now, beside this choice, this choice actually uses the argument's conclusion. It is argument's conclusion to actually, that is enforcement of drug promotion law has changed as its assumption, which actually we do not want. This is not what we have asked for. So B is also a complete no. Last, we move on to A. So A will be the answer. Let's see whether or not. So it says the decrease in number of citations was not caused by a decrease in drugs company violation of drugs promotion law. So this I'll give it a complete yes, because the argument presupposes that the drug company have not changed his behavior that is, they committed the same number of violations from 71 through 75 as they did from 76 through 80, but they were caught less actually, often from 76 through 75 because of the lax enforcement. So this particular story which the paragraph says, the argument that suppose the paragraph completely is option number A. So A will be the correct answer to this particular question. So I hope this short tutorial on LSAT, where we are discussing section 1, is helpful to you guys. If you find any problems, if you have any query, you are free to call or WhatsApp us on this number. Again, if you want to make us any special videos with regard to any other topics, then you are free to comment on the comment section down below. And thank you so much for watching.